Hi there, everyone. This is E Rose, and since this is my first face cam, I wanted to give my impressions on the Fathom event for Volume 6 of RWBY. This will serve as my reaction to Episode 1 because I can't give an honest reaction to something I've already seen. So right now, what I'm going to do is explain how the Fathom event worked, like how it's sequenced for the whole hour and 30 minutes that it ran. I will have a honest impressions of Volume 6, and then I'll go into spoilers. I'll leave a clear demarcation of when I start to spoil the plot of Volume 6, Episode 1. So that will be a clear warning. Don't say I didn't warn you. So, how the Fathom event worked. First, they had some trailers for some other Rooster Teeth properties. They had a Genlock trailer, which wasn't even the choppy frame rate Genlock trailer. It was just the intro of the Scottish bunny girl played by the Game of Thrones girl Arya Stark, whose name I forget, I'm sorry, and then the Japanese character. It was just that trailer. It wasn't the clip of David Tennant giving the other four characters intros. It was just the trailer we've already seen before. And then it went to what seemed like a end teaser for Nomad of Nowhere. I don't watch Nomad of Nowhere, so I don't know what the implications are. I think it was whatever happened at the end of the first season, and then an implication of El Rey, because I believe that was a symbol on the wall was shown of El Rey. So those were the trailers. That was before anything started. And then Carrie came out with a bird in a cage. I think it was just supposed to be for Halloween, and gave a little talk thanking everyone for showing up and introducing what was going on. Then Volume 5 premiered. It started with the first Maiden, the Vault of the Spring Maiden episode, where Weiss just got stabbed, and it goes all the way until the end of Volume 5. I paid $14.50 plus tax to watch reruns. Now, apparently this also happened in the last premiere, but again, I'm annoyed by that, because I'm a RWBY skeptic as it is. I wasn't one of the cosplayers in the theater. I know a lot of the things have been bad because I've been listening to all YouTube commentators giving shit on Volume 5 for a long time. So I'm just staring at the screen, wanting to shout out all the problems, but it's like being confined. It's like waiting in Catholic Mass and them saying the wrong lines of the Bible. Like, are not even that bad, but again, I watched all of the last 3 episodes of Volume 3, or last 3 episodes of Volume 5 in a theater. And then it went to the Adam short. They put the Adam short in the Fathom event, which I was really annoyed by. They're putting a trailer in a movie. Then it cut to crew production of Volume 6, and it looks like they have their shit together. I mean, I'm no technical expert, but they went through all the process, they went through all the steps. It looked nice, it looked clean, it looked professional, but that's never been an insult to Rooster Teeth. They've always been a professional company. Just how they produce their content has been what's been argued about. Also, a weird tangent. Miles wasn't in any of the promotional stuff. It was only Carrie, and it was only animation leads or department leads. Either he was busy for it, or I don't know, just a bit of conspiracy talking, I guess. Okay, now here's my thoughts on the first episode of Volume 6. Again, there'll be no spoilers initially, but then I'll make a clear demarcation of when I start to spoil it. I liked it! I didn't expect to like it. I expected to be rolling my eyes and pulling my hair, but it was really, really good. Maybe just by RWBY standards, but I enjoyed what I saw. There's a really nice film editing with it. There's some really nice story framing. The animation is much cleaner than I was going into expecting, looking at all the trailers. Like with the train station scene, they added much more detail and much better rendering, so I assume that's the final product. I did notice a few animation errors, but I think that might be because I was looking for them. Story-wise, it's good. Like, they have a clear talking points of everything they want to do. They try to trim the fat pretty early on, and you can see a very clear line of where they're going, or what the story is going in the first episode. Everyone acts the same. Like, there's no weird tangential moment like when Nora is questioning Ozpin and rolling her eyes at him. That was always something weird about Volume 5. But everyone acts the same. There's a bit of shipping tease, but it's RWBY, what did you expect? And I thought it was really good. And again, I think the biggest thing that threw me away was cinematography. Like, they really did better framing with all this episode. Like, there's a scene of a long shot zoom, and it's the way that it's rendered and the way that it's colored is really, really nice. And there's actually real strategy in the fight for Volume 6, Episode 1. I guess that's a bit of a spoiler, so I'm going to put on the spoiler tag right now and begin talking about the actual plot of the episode. So, they're leaving Anima, or they're leaving Mistral Prime. It's been 2 weeks. The events of Shade Academy's destruction have been kind of pushed under the rug. It was just called a White Fang attack. It was the nice, friendly menagerie militia come to save the day. They didn't play it off as an invading army, and Leo's death was just marked as a random death or a heroic death on his end. They're not saying that he worked with the terrorists or worked with the enemy. So that's being swept under the rug. And so they're leaving to go up north to they gave it a proper name, but for the life of me I can't remember it, to the shores of it. And that's something I also want to talk about. There's actually visual gags again. Like, there's some really, really funny visual gags and background animation humor that I really liked. Like, there's this really, really cute, or cute's the wrong word, it isn't cute. It's a really funny gag with Ren shirtless at a beach, and it's just a hallucination image, but it's really funny the way that it's juxtaposed and how the camera moves around that joke. So anyway, the train that they're going on has professional hunters, but because they're not main cast, they have to be fodder, I guess. So they have an on-screen death of one of the main train hunters. Again, there's only 2 of them though, so I still think they have a problem with scaling the threats. I don't think there would just be 2 hunters guarding a commercial vehicle. My thoughts. So anyway, they're on the train. Everything's going well. There's some nice conversations. They're either putting up a lot of tension between Yang and Blake, or she's, digging it in deep, but they don't deal with that initially. And then either right before that or right after that, they show Adam being vindictive boyfriend and spurging out the second that someone mentions Blake. Like, they're actually insulting his claimed power and giving him real, tangible insults, but his trigger is when they mention the Belladonna girl, which, okay, they're going with it. I'm not the director, so I can't say to direct it, but that's the round they're going with. He's still a spurred lover. So, train goes. They're being attacked by a horde of Manticore Grimm and what looks like a big Sphinx Grimm. Now, the Grimm are really impressive so far. They're really well rendered. They have better animation than the Grimm are usually privy to. Like, it's not just all sweeps and jibes. They're, coordinating. They're swooping in. They're doing real aerial combat, which is nice. And one of the train guards die, and Team RWBY and Juniper go up and defend the train. Then there's this really weird logic that the defenses are causing more trouble than they're worth, which it may just be the perspective, but I don't get that. I mean, any defense is better than none, which is the recommendation of Crow to the remaining guard. But anyway, they're fighting. It's good fighting for what it is, but they get a respite in a tunnel where they decide to split the party because the relic attracts Grimm. It's apparently like a lamp, and all the Grimm are moths. They're all being attracted in that sense. So Oscar and Team RWBY and Crow decide to go on the caboose and separate it, and have Jean amp Ren's power to have the locomotive be veiled, and all the passengers go off into safety. So they do that, and so thus RWBY and everyone else, RWBY, her team, Crow, and Oscar are fighting the Manticores and the Big Sphinx. The Big Sphinx is the boss enemy. And they actually do some really good combos to take it down that involve utilizing the only good application of Blake's weapon, which is its whip, and then using the scythes of Crow and RWBY in a practical way. I mean, scythes aren't practical. They'll never be practical, but the way that they double-teamed... God, I don't want to even think about that. The way that Crow and RWBY double-teamed the Sphinx works, or it isn't offensive. And so that happens, but a last shot of the Sphinx derails the train, and that's where you see RWBY look over to the relic. That's where that shot comes from. So they're derailed, and they have to get back to the northern shore, and the episode ends with the spectacle woman coming out of the caboose because she didn't leave with the other passengers to the front of the train. She stayed behind. She doesn't give her name that episode. She doesn't give any explanation, and the first time you hear her speak is when she shows herself. That's how she's introduced, and the episode ends there. There's no Salem, there's no other enemies besides Adam, and I think it's better for that. I mean, again, the episode was really, really clean and well paced, which is something I didn't expect going into this. I really expected to be hating episode 1. I looked at the trailer, and I looked at Salem's soliloquy, and I thought we'd be seeing all the stuff in the trailer to that one episode, and that it would just be really, really poor paced, really tight, and jumping around to all these points. But no, they stick pretty clearly to just the train and a little cut to Adam. And so those are my thoughts. I don't know where the volume's going, but it looks like it's going better than Volume 5 did at the same time. This is E-Rose. Thanks for watching.